Good morning. My name is Tabitha Parker, and I'm this year's Student Government Association president. I'm aware it's been raining a lot lately, but if you look outside, it's not, and it's also SGA elections, so you're welcome. We do this all for you. And in addition to this, it's also President's Day. So can we get a round of applause for our university president, John Wallace? But today is special because you, as members of the student body, are able to engage in the elections process for individuals who will be in the Student Government Association this next academic year. First, I'd like to thank you all for electing me to represent the student voice on campus this year. It's been more than challenging, but I've thoroughly enjoyed my entire experience here. And I hope that if you have any concerns, you would still feel comfortable approaching SJ or myself about those. For those who are unaware of the deeper purpose behind SGA, it is an established organization on campus that is designed to represent the ongoing concerns of student body, actively promoting change to take place on this campus, primarily involving staff and administration. SGA depends on elected officers to provide effective representation. This vision for SGA this year is encompassed in the word revive. And with this, there is a focus on reassessment and reevaluation of what we do here at APU, whether it be due to tradition or habits that we've collectively developed. We are continually diversifying as a university ethnically and thought and personalities and interests and hobbies. And with all of this in our knowledge, what are we doing to accommodate for these new realities? Today's speeches will be given by several highly qualified candidates that will be on this week's ballot, followed by introductions by the senators who will be on next week's ballot. So pertaining to the role of the president, they are to set the tone, culture, and motivation for the SGA team, which consists of 27 members. They are to establish a vision for the team that will inspire the projects taking place in their term of service. They are to support each individual in SGA as well as the student body. And this can be accomplished in a multitude of ways, whether it be through one-on-ones with officers or attending student organizations on campus. They are to lead the smaller team of 5 other executive members and provide insight and direction for the larger team holistically. So there are 2 worthy candidates that I'd like to welcome to share their heart and who are asking for your vote: Madeline Ben Amoun and Thiago Aya.
Hi guys, my name is Madeline Ben Amoun, and I am running for this year's SGA president. So I want to know, first of all, how many people here have ever had like a burning feeling deep in their stomach, something that it's like a pit opens up and you're like, oh, I have to do this one thing. That was me last year, sitting where you're sitting, watching SGA speeches. In high school, I was freshman class vice president, sophomore class president, junior class president, senior year ASB president, and I was heavily involved with student government because I wanted to make my high school a better place for all of my peers. College is a little different though. Being first generation and having to pay my way through school, I just wanted to keep my head low and graduate. But that burning feeling I was talking about earlier, as soon as I felt that last year, I knew that my passion for student government hadn't died. So here I am, standing in front of you, and I know what you're thinking. Who the heck is she? I've never met her before. I don't know who she is. And no, I have not played on intramurals. I don't work on campus. I wasn't an alpha leader. I am an ambassador leader though. Shout out to all my ambassadors. Okay, a little bit there. Hopefully it was bigger on East. That's fine. But that's because my grind has been exactly like yours. Go to work, go to class, suffer through your classes because you're working too much to be able to pay for those classes, eat, sleep, repeat. But we're all college students, so there's no sleep in there. It's more like eat, coffee, repeat every single day, day in and day out. But this lifestyle, I mean, you have to supplement it with your passions or else you'll burn out. And this right here, this is my passion. So what am I going to do as a president? Well, everybody might be thinking, what does SGA even do? That's bad. That's really, really bad if you don't know that. I mean, it might be just because you don't read your emails, which, I mean, guilty. But my goal as a president is communication. Communication with you guys. If you know me, or even if you don't know me, you can hear me around campus. And by around campus, I mean like around campus. Like I'll be in Mary Hill and you'll be in Heritage eating a croissant. And you're like, oh, I heard Madeline's laugh 800 feet away. And that's because I have a big passion for communication, for being vulnerable, for talking to people and saying what needs to be said. It would be my job as a president to communicate with the Board of Trustees and with our new university president. But like I said earlier, I'm just one of you guys. So I also need communication the other way. And I am all ears for whatever you guys have to say. I have an Instagram account. Well, obviously I have a personal account, but I also have an account that I created for the campaign, and I really do mean that you guys can slide into the DMs anytime you want with any concerns about the school. Now, I'm a criminal justice major. No cheering, criminal justice major. Okay, a little bit, there we go. And a political science major. Oh, okay. So it's my job to just encourage you guys to vote. Just get out and vote, as people across the country say, no matter which way. I always tell my mom, you can't complain if you aren't voting. And I would say shout out to my mom in the camera, but I know she isn't watching because she can't work the internet without me, but that's fine. So you're forfeiting your right to complain if you don't vote. So everybody, please vote. Seniors, you guys sometimes don't vote out of complacency because you aren't going to be here. That's fine, just vote for me. That's all you need to know. And that's pretty much it. Just vote.
Hello everyone, my name is Thiago Aya. The past week, the Lord so happened to have me in the book of Nehemiah. For those of you who aren't familiar with this book, it's about a servant of God who's cut to the heart when he hears that the walls of Jerusalem have been torn down, and he asks the Lord for an opportunity to play a part in rebuilding them. When the opportunity comes to rebuild Jerusalem, Nehemiah jumps at this opportunity, and it got to the point when he was working along his fellow Israelites that they had to hold a tool in one hand and a weapon in the other hand, just in case battle occurred at any moment. Nonetheless, Nehemiah and the Israelites were able to rebuild the city's wall in only 52 days. It says in chapter 6, verse 16, that when all our enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence because they realized that this work had been done with the help of our God. One night last semester, I walked past two people studying in the library around 3 a.m. I didn't give them a second thought until I got back home, and for some reason, I began thinking about all the components that went into making these people who they are. I began pondering on all the experiences of joy, the experiences of sorrow, happiness, and pain that made them who they are. I thought about how these individuals were something often said but partially incomprehensible, that they are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of the Lord. I began to think about what it would look like for us as a community if we were all able to truly understand what this meant. Some of you who have been Alpha and AC leaders have the privilege of working with Stacy Champagne. I've only had one interaction with her, but whether you've worked alongside her or only met her like once, she'll greet you with the brightest smile as if she's known you for years. She'll greet you with a sense of radiant joy. And one day, I was always confused, why did she meet every student like this? Why is she so encouraged and so positive to meet every student? And I was sitting with someone, and they told me the reason why she was so happy to meet each and every one of us was that she literally saw every one of us as a puzzle piece that makes up the image of the Lord. We represent God's image. You are an image, and regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, your sexual orientation, or your class, we're tied together because Christ chose beatings, disgrace, and execution for the chance the chance that we may come to know him. You see, I believe Nehemiah and the Israelites would not have been able to restore Jerusalem without knowing their why. They knew they had to protect each other. They knew God was merciful in allowing them to rebuild Jerusalem's wall, and they knew it was their obligation to do this with diligence. What if we as a community did nothing out of self-ambition or conceit? What if in humility we valued others above ourselves? What if we put our own interests aside for the sake of serving others? What would happen? Our community would be transformed. If our motivation came from Christ, we'd be motivated to act. There would be no such thing as your problem because your burden would be our burden. Not only would our campus be transformed, but if we embodied Christ in such a way, the world would literally change. This is the vision the Lord has placed upon my heart, that we would see one another as actual image bearers of God, people worth dying for, and in light of this, live as a community where no one is unseen, unheard, or unwelcomed, because we'd see, hear, and welcome one another just like Christ did. It would be an honor to be elected by you and to serve as the SGA president, carrying out a vision where humility comes before pride and where the only thing we see while walking past one another are living creations of the living God. I want to lead us in being a community ready and willing to do his work. Thank you. May God bless you in this campus.
Good morning. My name is Evelyn Gonzales, and I am the current SGA Vice President. This position holds such a unique role within the student body as I have the privilege of leading a team of 9 senators who are actively creating change on campus. Being vice president means being a partner, a manager, an organizer, but ultimately you're a friend and a guide to each of the senators who you will, as a student body, will elect. In addition to meeting one-on-one and as a team with the 9 senators every week, the VP also facilitates the full team weekly business meetings, which, by the way, are held every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. in the Ronald Boardroom, shameless plug, and the student body is always welcome to come listen or speak. The vice president also plays an essential role in internal leadership. The VP ensures that each senator is equipped to carry out change for the student body and also maintains a partnership with the president and the executive council, making sure all teams within SGA are functioning well and healthy. This is an incredible and challenging role, and I wouldn't have it any other way. 1 year ago, I was up on this stage asking you all for your vote as VP, and now I have the incredible honor of introducing 2 well-equipped candidates for vice president, Rachael Corrales and Camila Gowen.
Ever since I was young, I have known the feeling of loneliness and detachment. I was the kid who sat alone at the lunch table. In middle school, I was the minority demographic and sometimes would even eat in the hall instead of the quad. In high school, I was the marching band nerd who ate alone in the band room because I was too ashamed to eat alone at the lunch table. So when I got to college, I said to myself, these next years will be different. College is set to be the best years of your life. Of course, I'll make friends. As a commuter student, it's so hard to feel connected on campus. And sure enough, my freshman year, I was the commuter who ate alone in their car. But I remember when I made my first friend. Her RA invited me to a hall event. The way this leader asked me was so warm and inviting. It was this simple gesture that made all the difference for me. How many of you have heard the phrases, "You matter," "You're welcome here," "Your voice counts"? How often do we hear these mantras on campus and still feel like the APU community could embody this better? If you feel marginalized, if you feel you don't have a voice, if you are seeking to belong, my name is Rachael Corrales. I'm running for the office of SGA Vice President, and I want you to know I'm doing this for you. I'm running for you because I too have once felt that I did not belong on campus. I'm running for you because my vision for APU is one that stands united and ensures that every student can call APU their home. This morning, I will first share with you a brief snapshot of my experience at APU, the leadership roles which have developed me, and lastly, the goals I will accomplish if you elect me into office. As I mentioned before, during my first year at APU, as a commuter student, I felt detached from the majority. Eventually, I came to terms with the fact that God brought me to APU for a reason greater than my own understanding. Getting involved was exactly what I needed. What that looked like for me was running for a position in office. During my rocky freshman year, I applied for a leadership position in SGA. As a representative, I worked to teach students of healthy alternatives on campus and became an advocate for eco-awareness. I developed a passion to serve the student body, so much so that I ran for a position this year as a senator. After I was elected into office, I hit the ground running and I haven't looked back. I was able to bring about some significant changes in just a short amount of time. I worked diligently to purchase new furniture for the Cougar Dome to replace the old, introduce student passes for the Foothill Transit System, purchase computer chargers for the Dome, and after 2 years of service, my passion to best serve the APU community has only grown. And lastly, if elected into office, I will support and empower the senators which you elect on their projects to better APU. I've been in their shoes, and I will help them succeed. As I conclude, to those who can relate to my passion and frustration, to those who have helped me feel like I belong, to those who still feel like APU isn't your home, and to those I haven't had the privilege to meet yet, let us strive to include and recognize everyone on campus. You can do this by looking up from your phone on your trek to class and smile at the person you catch eyes with. You can do this by looking left or right on the trolley and asking that stranger, what's the highlight of your week? You can do this by swiping for the person behind you just because you have extra dining points. And you can do this by attending campus events regardless of whether or not you are that ethnicity. And finally, you can do this by voting Rachel C. for VP. I have been working hard for you for the past 2 years, and I want to continue to be your advocate. God has taken me from a place of isolation and loneliness to a place of acceptance and belonging. And I want to do everything I can to help that happen for you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Camila Gowen. It is such an honor to stand before you this morning. I'm here to ask for your vote, but first, let me share a story with you. I come from a country in the middle of South America called Paraguay. There's a little less than 7 million people in the entire country. And just to put it into perspective, there are 39 million people just within the state of California. At the age of 8 years old, I was told that I would one day have the opportunity to come to the United States for college. I thought I would end up at some huge state school on the East Coast, spending my weekends at football games. But boy, little did I know that I would end up at APU, the least expected place. APU, a place I could not afford, a place far away from my family, a place I had never visited before. I recognize that each of you got here under different circumstances. Each of you have a story to tell. Some of you have all the resources to be here today. Others of you don't and are wondering about the possibilities of coming back next year. Others of you have worked hard to be an athlete here, to be a musician, to be in the Honors College. Others of you need to work long hours. All of you are here today, whether you're from an hour away or 3 plane rides away. I share this with you because there's no one in this auditorium that is not here for a purpose. My purpose is to learn from you, is to listen to you, and to serve you with the gifts and skills God has given me. In Isaiah 6:8, God asks Isaiah, "Whom shall I send and who will go before us?" And Isaiah responds with, "Heme aquí, envíame a mí," meaning, "Here I am, send me." In the same manner, I also said to the Lord, "Here I am, use me." I said yes to God, and now I'm saying yes to you. As an international student, I have something new to offer. I'm saying that I believe that the Senate are the nuts and bolts which build SGA and the changes to come on campus. I want to encourage and empower the Senate to not merely react, but to be productive and proactive. I also recognize that in times such as this, a time of transition at APU, there are not only problems to be solved, but tensions to be managed. I have challenged, critiqued, and questioned the reason for why I'm running, and it is to say to each of you, "Heme aquí con las manos abiertas," meaning, here I am with palms wide open. I'm ready to learn from you, I'm ready to listen to you, and I'm ready to serve you. Grace and peace.
Good morning. My name is John Breslow, and I'm the current SGA controller. Our final elected executive position is responsible for setting and passing the annual budget, keeping records of all expenses within the association, managing and updating the SGA budget, and serving on the Finance Committee alongside the President and Vice President. The controller is also responsible for communicating financial position of the association to team members, as well as working with all SGA members to finance different university projects. The Office of Controller is unique in that it is only one of 2 executive positions on SGA that is not tasked with leading a specific team. This gives the controller the ability and the responsibility to build relationships with all SGA members and to be an extra voice of support and encouragement to all on the team. This requires that candidates show not only an administrative aptitude for keeping the SGA budget with integrity, but also a spirit of fellowship that will unite the team together through excellent leadership. With that, I'm pleased to introduce our only controller candidate for this year, Evan Lorie.
Hey guys, I'm Evan Lorie. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I am running unopposed for this position. However, I still view my campaign as an attempt to win over your vote. I recognize the importance of the controller's position and want to assure you that my character, conviction, and competence aligns with the values, mission, and requirements of SGA. So character is who you are when no one is looking. It's our level of honesty and integrity that is tested in unfamiliar situations. Here we are prompted to press into our virtues and ask for help, pursuing reconciliation in our weaker areas so we are constantly growing and becoming better. The SGA highly values strong character and invites adversity as an opportunity to mature. My constant pursuit of personal advancement through self-reflection and daily dependence on God reflects these values. Conviction is the strong center that motivates, unites, and guides how we display our character. It pulls us back when we wander, and it keeps us going when things are so easy to quit. The SGA is convicted to make this campus a healthier, more inclusive environment by celebrating diversity and providing opportunities for students to step beyond their normal and dive into local and global community. I share this conviction and want to see spiritual revival come to our campus, as well as aid in interweaving the beautiful tapestry that is represented on APU's campus. Competence is bringing the right knowledge to the table at the right time. I'm qualified for this position because I have a knack for numbers, as well as a background in accounting and business. As mentioned previously, I mentor at the LEC, which has helped me work better in teams, understand how to be an efficient leader, and become a more proficient businessman. I've also been employed in 6 different industries. Most recently, I've done graphic design for a Japanese magazine, accounting for my social media company, and inventory management for American Honda Motor Company. My unorthodox resume poises me to have a vantage point that aids in my ability to creatively solve problems. In closing, I believe we are called to be stewards of more than just our money, and as controller, I want to assure the student body that the position I receive means more to me than balancing the association's budgets. I also vow to properly steward my ideas and time. Controller Breslow did a fantastic job over the past year, and I plan on emulating his success, as well as progressing further, ensuring that SGA is doing everything it can to reconcile and inspire our campus. End of speech. Thank you.
Hello again. As I mentioned earlier this morning, I personally supervise the senators who meet directly with several offices on campus to address the concerns of the student body. Senators are vital to the operation of SGA as a whole. In my personal opinion, without senators, SGA would not be able to function as they do a large portion of the tangible work by executing projects. The role of the senator is to actively listen, communicate, and find creative solutions to the concerns that students have. Some projects that have been the fruit of SGA, both past and present, include the creation of the Dillon Recreation Complex on East Campus, brighter lighting on Cougar Walk, handles in the trolleys, new furniture in the Cougar Dome, and the new Veil Ride bikes on campus. And the list just goes on. There are 9 different senator positions, each playing a unique role in serving different populations of the student body. These include the academic senator, the Azusa senator, the commuter senator, the international senator, the multicultural senator, the student resources senator, the student services senator, and the transfer senator, and the spiritual life senator. I am pleased to introduce to you these 8 candidates who will briefly share the position they are seeking and why they are passionate about serving in the capacity as a senator. So please join me in giving them a warm welcome.
Erasmus once said that the main hope of a nation lies in the proper education of its youth. Hello everyone, my name is Mikey, and I'm running for the position of academic senator.
Hi, my name is Darinka Vargas, and I'm running for the Azusa senator position. I've lived in Azusa for my entire life, and I'm just so excited to show this student body a little bit more of my own community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Frances Jimenez, and I am running to be your commuter senator. If elected, I promise to further relationships between commuter students and the APU community, help represent them and be a voice for them, while also helping organize and plan events in order to bring everyone into further communion with one another. I'd love to have the opportunity to do this and so much more, so I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Sarah Romero. I am running for multicultural senator, and I believe that each and every one of you has a place at the table, and I want to make APU a home to all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Morgan Champlin. Thanks. I served with you this year as your spiritual life representative, and I'm hopefully serve with you next year as your spiritual life senator. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Connor Brandenburg, and I am running to be your resource senator. I'm on SGA this year as a rep, and I think I continue my service for the student body. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Campos, and I'm running for student services senator. I am a current freshman studying political science, journalism, and honors humanities. And whether or not you believe you have a voice, I believe you have a voice, and I know you have a voice, and I'd like to be that voice. So I hope you can vote for me, and may God's grace and peace go with you.
Hey y'all, my name is Elijah White, and I'm running for your student services senator. As a current member of the student government, serving as your academic representative, I have seen, taken part in, and recognized the change in student culture at Azusa Pacific, and I can't wait to bring the momentum of this year's SGA team into next year's, serving as your student services senator. Thank you.
Can you give a round of applause for the senators that we just heard from? Today was tailored to provide as much information as possible so that you can be an educated voter. And the way that the elections process will go is that this first week is dedicated to electing the president, vice president, and controller positions. And next week, another ballot will be sent to your emails that's distributed, and it's going to be for next year's senators, which are the people that you just heard speak on stage. So for clarification, there will be 2 ballots that are sent out, and they are separate. This week is particular to vice president, president, and controller, and next week will be senators. And voting for this week will end Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. So voting goes from now at 11 a.m. Oh, look at that. And then it'll end Wednesday at 5:30. I'd like to thank you all for watching and listening today, as you've now heard from each candidate, but now is the time to engage. So at 11, you should have received an email from SJ regarding the ballot for president, vice president, and controller. It's a Google form link, so it should not take any more than a few seconds to complete. And so right after chapel, I encourage everyone to take out your phone, pull up the link, and exercise your right as a student. If you're a freshman, vote. If you're a senior, vote. Everyone that's an undergraduate student here at APU can vote. If you have any concerns or trouble accessing the voting link, you can stop by our office, which is located on Kruger Walk next to the Marshburn Library. You can email us at sga@apu.edu, or you can follow or DM us on Instagram at APUSGA. And as an incentive for voting, we will be having I voted stickers and donut holes available throughout this week. So stop by and come see us. Have a blessed week, and if an egg can get 50 million likes on Instagram, then I believe we can get 100% student vote participation. You're dismissed. Alexa, play a bop.